So you know what it's like when you've had a tough day at work or an argument with someone, or you're feeling really anxious about something and you're kind of all tense and stressed out, and all you can think about is how you'd like a glass of wine or a gin and tonic to take the edge off. When I was drinking, I would always romanticize this one glass of wine that I was going to have, despite knowing that I was probably going to drink that one glass in mere minutes and would quickly be pouring another one. I would also, in my drinking days, romanticize the feeling of drinking. I would have been thinking about it for several hours leading up to it, talking up how good it was going to feel to numb out my stresses, numb out my worries and my anxieties. I just always thought everything was going to be so much better as soon as I did that. Can you relate? I just overlook this one thing every time, this one tiny but important truth. We can't selectively numb our emotions. When we use alcohol to numb our painful emotions, we also numb the positive ones as well. So when you numb the dark, you numb the light as well. When you drink to numb your sadness or anxiety, you are also numbing joy and love and happiness. You're numbing the moments that make life beautiful. Because alcohol isn't a smart drug, you see. It's a really old drug. It's been around for centuries. It cannot possibly ever know which emotions that you want to block out. So everything gets the same treatment. Everything gets numbed. The good gets numbed and dulled, as well as everything else. And I really, really want you to think about that. Think about the good times that you've had whilst drinking. What if they could have been even better, even more joyful if you'd been sober? But because you were trying to numb out with alcohol, the smiles and the laughs and the good times, they all got rubbed out a bit as well. And if you really think about this, I bet you've been in a social situation, perhaps out with friends or at a party or even on date night, and you've had that experience of being slightly separate from everyone else. When you're in a bit of a bubble, you don't quite catch all the jokes because you're not quite with it. You don't catch everything that's being said, so you feel slightly removed from the whole experience. Maybe you've actually drunk through something that should have been a really special moment or day, like your wedding, and honestly, you can't remember much of it now. Because like I said, if you numb the lows, you numb the highs as well. You have to accept that everything gets numbed. Now, perhaps you're watching this thinking, well, I don't really care about that, Kate. I don't care about numbing the highs right now. My life isn't that great at the moment. Things are pretty hard. There's, not much joy in my world anyway. If you had my job or my life or my whatever and you knew how things were, you wouldn't care about blocking out a bit of joy. Perhaps you truly feel that there isn't much to be happy about anyway. And by the way, I relate to that so much, because there was a time in my life when I was drinking and I felt the same way. It seemed as if drinking was the only good thing I had going on. There was a time when that was true. It was the thing I looked forward to at the end of each day. But even in this difficult situation, we can still take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because the same principle holds true. I know there is joy in your life. You just can't see it because alcohol is numbing it out and making it fade away. Think about this. When you're drinking, you don't appreciate things like it being a sunny spring day because you've woken up feeling hungover and ill. You don't appreciate little things like the coffee your partner has made for you because you're too busy wondering how on earth you are going to make it through the day. You're not really going to be able to listen to that funny, cute thing that your kid just said because you are distracted by beating yourself up for last night. Or maybe you live on your own and you are actually lonely, but when you're drinking, you don't answer the phone in the evening just in case the other person can tell you're drunk. Or maybe if you do answer, you're kind of irritated because it is really disrupting your drinking time. So you don't actually savor the connection and the joy that could come from that. Can you see what I'm getting at here? Can you see how alcohol is numbing out those little moments of joy? Because we cannot just selectively numb our emotions. We cannot do that. Alcohol just is not that smart. When you numb the dark, you numb the light as well. And that is so important to understand when you are trying to make decisions about your life and your drinking. And even when you're going through something really hard or unfair and tough, there are chinks of light in your world, but you will miss those little rays of sunshine. They'll be much harder to see because alcohol will block them out. You know, that hope might not get any bigger if you keep alcohol on the scene. There's so much more I could say on this subject, and I'd really love to hear your experiences and your thoughts in the comments. I think it's such a trap to get into, but a really understandable one. And listen, if you need some help breaking out of this pattern, breaking out of this trap, I'm going to share some details below of a free training I have that will really help you with this. I hope you can join me for it.